Creating content is hard. Most of our clients are not writers, but we also know that content is the best way to attract attention and to attract new customers. And now there's a new tool out there called AI. This will solve all our content problems, right? So welcome to the Marketing Minute podcast. I'm your host, Peter DeWitt, and with me today is our very own Caitlin, our content strategist. Welcome, Caitlin.
Glad to be on.
You didn't have to go very far.
No, I didn't.
That's awesome. So AI is having a big impact everywhere. There's headlines everywhere. We read about it. We see other people do things with AI. And I think at Edge, we've been experimenting with AI for quite a long time. Do you remember the first time when we started implementing some AI into our workflows?
Yeah, and I think there's even like tools that we didn't even realize were actually AI, like Grammarly, for example.
Yeah, right, Grammarly.
Yeah, I've been using that since I started at Edge back in 2020, but like some tools that we don't even realize were AI.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. AI, yeah.
Nobody ever told us.
No.
But AI is everywhere. So yeah, we're trying to figure this out. So as for you as a listener, I think it's interesting as well to maybe learn a few things from the mistakes that we made. So today we're going to talk about it's a bit of a Wild West, right? Everybody talks about AI and what it can do and what it cannot do. Not many people talk about that. So I think we're at Edge, we're looking at it from a very practical point of view. How can we add value to our clients without getting too much swept up into the hype? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. I will definitely call myself an AI skeptic.
Great.
Yeah. So I do feel there is value in it, but there is a point where you do have to always step in and kind of monitor it. You're controlling a tool. It's not kind of taking over for you.
Exactly, right? Like I always compare it with the starting of desktop publishing way back in the 80s. The talk was, okay, everybody's going to do their own design work, right? Because now we have tools to do it. And what I think what I've seen with that was just an explosion of all kinds of garbage out there, lack of a better word. And people decided, no, this is not what I want to do. It's just another tool in the toolbox. And I think if you take away anything from this session, I think it's just that. Like AI is great. It's super powerful. But to us, it's another tool in the toolbox. And we will never give up on the human interaction with the tool, correct?
Yes.
Because we feel that's where the real magic happens. So with that, let's dive right in. And one of the questions I get from a lot of our clients, they're already super busy running their business. They finally figured out how to do some of the now somewhat traditional digital marketing things like paid advertising, SEO, and some of these things. They're finally getting comfortable with those terms. And now they have to deal with AI. So I'm focusing on content because you're a content writer. So I don't have time for this part of my business already. Like, what do I do? So how would AI actually make things better for me?
Yeah, so AI, it definitely can create the content for you. It can write out your social media posts that you have to get out. It can help you develop blog posts. But I think the key thing is using it as a thought partner almost. So developing ideas and strategies that will help create content that will resonate with your audience. So you don't want to kind of limit yourself in just using it to create content, but like run ideas past it. Do you think it'll work well for this particular audience?
Yes.
But again, you do have to be careful because there is such a thing called as hallucinations.
Okay.
With AI.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So basically AI, a lot of AI programs are developed to kind of like prove your point. They want.
Okay. So would you say it's almost like confirmation bias?
Yes, there is definitely that bias. It's going to do everything in its power to kind of like prove that you're correct or it's correct. So it'll make up certain statistics that don't exist. So that's something you do have to kind of watch out for.
Interesting.
Is any information that's incorrect or made up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's now a known fact, I guess, about AI. And then again, AI is built by humans in the end, right? So it improves itself. But still, human programmers basically come up with the platform. So that's something you have to be really aware of. And we've run into some of those scenarios, right? So I like your idea of using AI as a thought partner, an ID generator, and I think it's really, really good. If you, especially confirmation bias aside, if you tell AI, hey, give me an honest opinion, or don't, don't be soft on me.
Yeah.
Be very honest with me. Like, is this a good idea or not? And then
Mhm.
actually it turns around and goes like, it goes from this very affirming and positive voice to say, well, Peter, your idea really sucks and you should rewrite everything. So yeah, do you have some experience with that as well?
Yeah, definitely. Like I know, like just kind of even going through blog posts that I've had AI work with me on.
Mhm.
One, I've always kind of like been very careful about what I'm seeing on it and making sure, like, hey, asking, can you provide a source for
Mhm.
this point? Or
Yeah.
I've even kind of gotten feedback from AI in regards to like getting feedback on it. A blog post is that a lot of the responses is like, yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic job. Fantastic job. But that's
Yeah.
not very helpful always, is it?
No,
Yeah.
definitely not. No.
Yeah. So yeah, I do believe that AI will probably get better over time. It's a very new technology, so still a lot of things to be worked out. But yeah, overall, it's been very helpful in the idea generation because
Mhm.
AI can process a tremendous amount of information in a very short period of time, which before AI was not really possible, right?
Mhm.
So we definitely use it for research and ideation, and you can do the same thing, and especially if you figure out who your audience is, right? Like when we come to the messaging the content that you put out there, your target audience, like your ideal clients, your audience is really important, right? And I feel like, would you agree that confirmation bias here? Would you agree that it does a pretty good job of doing the research for you on the audience?
Yeah, on the audience, I think one of the key things is to provide as much context as you can.
Okay.
Um, Providing that as much information as you can already on your audience, like say if you're researching your ideal
Yeah.
audience, provide AI with as much information as you can that you already have, that
Mhm.
you've already developed, and then it can kind of expand on it.
Okay. No, exactly. So like it's a collaboration between the machine and human beings again. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I can totally see that. So some of our clients they have maybe used ChatGPT. ChatGPT is kind of the Coca-Cola of the AI industry, right? Everybody knows it. There's a lot of other tools actually that are actually better
Mm.
in some purposes. But the AI that I created, I hear it a lot. It's just not. It's very robotic. Like it has some words it's using. It's just not like if I'm trying to write an article, it doesn't really sound like me. Like how can you actually make those things better? Is that can you relate to that?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've all kind of in this new age of AI been able to kind of spot what makes an AI written piece of
Exactly.
content AI. It's not X, it's Y, whether it's A or B or the dreaded M dash that everyone's kind of avoiding now, just
What is
because
the M dash?
the M dash is kind of like that longer line that kind of like breaks up a sentence or two thoughts.
Oh, okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, something that we in natural speaking or writing even don't use a whole lot.
Mhm.
But AI for some reason loves to use that M dash. Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting. So that's now you're a writer, so you're very super sensitive. Like I'm a marketing guy, so yeah, everything I read, I kind of read through this lens of okay, how well written is it? Is it on target? Is it on does it addresses the problem that you're working with? But even I think just the general public, I think they have already developed a sense of what's real and what's fake. Correct?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, like you go on LinkedIn and then like even in the comments, there's some people are like praising the post and then some are
Yeah.
like, it's AI, it's
Yeah,
AI.
yeah, exactly, right. So and then, so yeah, I think that's really, we've seen some really bad examples of people, being lazy basically,
Mhm.
and say, hey, AI can do all these wonderful things, but it's not authentic. And if anything, what people are looking for right now in our digital world is authenticity. And if it smells like AI, it probably is AI.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Use AI to maybe come up with the idea or doing the research, but the finishing touches are really human based. Now, you guys also have some other techniques as well, right? To take a piece of AI generated content and make it sound more human. Like, can you explain that? to us a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So if you just ask AI to like, hey, write me a blog post on the benefits of winter tires,
Yeah.
it's going to sound like every other blog post out there.
Yeah.
So the important thing when prompting AI to create any content or do anything for you is provide context. As much context as you can. So give AI a job. You are a content strategist who has years of experience writing blog posts, and then provide them with your ideal audience. So this is for middle-aged men who drive trucks in central Alberta.
Yeah. And there's a lot of those.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, as much context as you can provide the chatbot or the AI bot as possible is best. You can even provide it with an example of some previous content that you've created that you feel aligns with your brand tone as well. So it can kind of pick up of certain structures, tonage, language that you use, and then it can repeat that as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you kind of you're perfected the technology somewhat, and you're constantly also improving some of those prompts as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have found a tool actually to help us with that as well, right? Like it's called Team GPT. A little shout out to this platform. But what it allows us to do is it's exactly that, right? It allows us per client to save some of that context information, their style guide or their audience description. And so instead of having to type it back into the prompt all the time, that information is saved. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah. So it's definitely a lot easier for us when we're kind of creating month-to-month content for clients. We're not having to kind of like constantly re-enter information, that all that's kind of saved in the back end, and the bot kind of knows what you need.
Exactly. So instead of just going out on their big database and trying to figure out the answers, we're actually telling it, hey, this is the information you already know. You don't have to worry about it. Like make sure you keep this in mind when you generate your responses. And I'd say it really has increased the quality, I think, of the output that you guys have been able to create.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, like as much information as you can provide AI, the better the quality of any output you're going to get. So when it's already kind of set up and it already kind of knows us or our clients, there's a lot it can learn from the information you provide, and then it continues to learn as you kind of develop.
So it kind of gets better as we go along. So at some point we actually think about making some of those tools available to our clients as well, because again, there's a real need, I think, for small businesses to adopt AI. I believe like it's just a thing; it's not going to go away. But then how do you go about it? So we want to be a good source and a guide to help our clients with using AI for marketing purposes, because that's really our main focus, but also for other purposes as well. There's a lot of applications that AI can be used for. So you already alluded to this a little bit, but what are some of the common, like the M dash? You was one of the indications, red flag. Okay, this is AI generated. What are some of the other comical words or phrases that AI just keeps coming back with?
Yeah, so AI kind of really enjoys like buzzwords, like in this digital age, or a lot of just kind of like empty filler words that are kind of like they think it'll catch people's attention. But as you kind of mentioned, like people want authenticity just because AI is not providing that in the content that it's providing. So like even like certain structures, like I noticed like AI likes to list things in threes. So they're like, there'll be like this, and this. So you kind of notice like a lot of times, like, of course, I'm staring at content all day, every day.
Of course.
So I kind of notice these things, but yeah, there's just different structures that you kind of notice. And then if you kind of look at content closely, I think everyone should kind of nowadays just to kind of not be skeptical, but also kind of be aware what is authentic and what is kind of true.
Exactly, right. And I also feel like you've mentioned Grammarly, which is a tool we use extensively, and it's great. Some days it's contradicts itself.
Right.
So we have constantly, there's times that I just switch it off. If I want to write something just like a rough draft, I just want to switch off AI because it just gets in the way. But then once you get to the point, you have an idea, you have written the content, or you have used AI maybe to come up with the first draft. Now it's your job, I hear, to really give it a human touch and put the finishing touches on there. And I think that's going to be like that, I think, hopefully for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, definitely. Like anything that you have AI create, you should always look over it, whether it's ensuring a statistic is listed correctly or that it has the right tonnage that
Yeah.
aligns with your brand, or even if it's just kind of making sure that it aligns with what you want to say
Yeah.
to your customers,
Yep.
that you always check.
Yeah.
And like, again, going back to those hallucinations. And then it's also kind of making sure that if you even copy and paste it directly from
Yeah.
chat, you might have the prompt still in the content there. So
No, I've seen that too, right? And that's kind of comical, but also, yeah, like people are gonna say like this is AI generated. I'm not gonna pay attention to it, and that's the biggest challenge I think that we face in the content world.
yeah.
Content is super important for being found by people, get the attention you need. But yeah, as soon as it smells like fake, they know it, and it's going to work against you. So we talked a lot about ChatGPT again. That's kind of like the Coca-Cola. But what are some of the other models that we're experimenting with? And as a matter of fact, I believe there's one that actually overall does a better job of writing. Can you tell the audience about that a little bit more?
Yeah. So when we kind of started using AI tools, there was kind of like this internal battle at edge between
Yeah.
like ChatGPT and Claude,
Yeah.
for example. So I was kind of on Team Claude just because I felt it was a little stronger in the content creation realm, while ChatGPT might be better for kind of like rationale research and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But recently we have kind of jumped on board with Team GPT. So that platform actually combines like a lot of the AI LLMs into one.
Yeah.
So you're not kind of paying for different subscriptions, jumping on different tools, and then it's more collaborative.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like a shared Google Doc that we can we can generate ideas and generate content, but then instead of copying and pasting that into a Google Doc, we'd actually use the tool directly to collaborate with the team. We're still kind of fine tuning and perfecting that whole process, but it definitely has a lot of potential. And like you said, I think I've been using Claude extensively for content generation, and I think it has, yeah, like in some ways, I think it is right now. It has a bit of an edge over the other models, but this could change. But that's another thing that I was going to mention, that I think with all the different language models, and most people know maybe the top five, right? Like Gemini is a big one. What are some of the other ones? Grok, of course, from X. And there's probably hundreds, if not 1,000 different models already out there. So again, my word of advice, I think, is stick with one. Find the one tool you really like. And again, and just start with the free version. I highly recommend, if you're really serious about this, probably pay the $20 a month to get the pro version. You get better service. You get probably better outputs, right? Because these companies need to make money somehow. So it's an investment well made. And my advice is, just like we jumped in, we could have said, well, maybe this AI thing will go away. We don't have to deal with it. But we both knew that that was not going to happen. So, and that's the same for our small business owner clients, is they need to come to terms with this technology and make the most of it and actually see the positive of it, right? Because there's definitely a lot of other positive options as well. So, we talked about a lot of different things already. So, like AI generated, like what is the process like when you actually, like from start to finish, basically? So blog post is, like how many words is a blog post? A couple pages, right?
So generate blog posts should be about 800 words, just from an informational perspective, but also from like a search engine optimization standard as well.
Yeah, so 800 word blog post, and we write those for our clients, right? Because we're full service. So now, what is the process you go through from start to finish, and where does AI kind of fit into the process right now?
Yeah, so typically the process kind of starts with establishing topics with the client. And if, say, we kind of get to the point where, like, hey, you decide the topics for us, that's another spot where AI can kind of jump in,
Yeah.
help brainstorm topics that would be kind of relevant for the
Yeah.
audience that we're
Yeah.
kind of targeting. And then we can kind of break that even further down into kind of, okay, we want this main theme. What are some what can we specifically write a blog on?
Yeah.
So provide helping us through that process. I think one of the hardest parts of content creation is just coming up with the themes
Absolutely.
and ideas for those posts. Once you kind of get those down, you can start writing the
Exactly.
content. But I think that thought process of like kind of what's going to resonate the most and what's going to provide the most impact when you create the content is kind of the major hurdle that AI has kind of helped us with.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I think a lot of our clients and listeners can resonate with this, that the blank page syndrome, right? I have this blank page. I know I need to do something, but I don't know where to start. So use AI to stimulate your thinking, come up with some good ideas. And again, the better the prompts are, so what you put into the chat, the better the results will be, generally speaking, right? So, okay, so you've generated the idea. So what's the next step? You talk to the client about it, of course, and say, "Hey, Jared, these are the 5 topics that we think would work. What do you think? Or do you have anything else?" And again, if people, instead of staring at a blank page and asking them to come up with that, that's really difficult, right? And I can see that. But if you give them something that may or may not be on topic, in some cases they say, "No, that's not right. You got to write it this way." Again, oh, thank you so much, because now we actually have some more targeted topics that we can write on, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then once you kind of have your topics established, outlining is another great way to use AI. So kind of outlining each section that you're going to create, what key top points you're going to touch on. And then I always kind of go through and kind of evaluate that outline, of course, just to kind of see what's kind of relevant, and then what could kind of from an editing perspective, what could be kind of removed from there.
Okay.
And then if need be, I always collaborate with AI to potentially create that content for me, of course, with a lot of context, and then a review from myself or another team member, whoever's creating the content. Nothing ever goes out directly.
No, not
Copy
yet.
and paste from AI.
As soon as that happened, and I see it on social media channels, you'll hear from me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. Like, that's just again, that's a key theme that keeps coming back. So again, the people are worried about job security. This is a completely different topic, maybe a little bit off topic, but I believe strongly that this will make people like yourself that are already very good at something that they do, only will make them better and more efficient, right, and more productive, really. And that's from a business perspective, of course, that's the biggest win. I think instead of thinking in terms of we're going to be hiring fewer people, I think we're going to hire the same amount of people. I am actually thinking we're going to hire more people, because these people are going to be more productive, right? So from a business point of view, it's really, it's a very appealing kind of a scenario to be using this to your advantage. So yeah, so what kind of, let's just get into the tools a little bit again. Like you already mentioned a few of the big players, but paid versions, I'm a big believer. I think that, first of all, to support the ecosystem, not that I necessarily want to support Google or Perplexity is another one, right? But I do believe, let's be honest, like, we know how this works. If something is for free, you're getting what you pay for, right? So so we have Claude, we have we have Gemini, that's from Google, right? So ChatGPT is the big one. Perplexity, I don't have a lot of experience with Perplexity myself, but it's a big player. Do you have any other tools or configurations? Right now, you can actually play with all the different models, right? Because we have, by going with this Team GPT platform, they should pay us, by the way, for giving us all these plugs. But we actually have the opportunity now to actually compare output as well, right? Like, I've taken the same prompt and putting it into 3 different AI models and see what gives the best results.
Yeah. So I know that a lot of, like, as we kind of discussed, a lot of the different AI tools, they have their kind of niches, I think, in regards to the kind of usage they
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
So whether, like I said, it's research, rationalization, content creation,
Yeah.
or even image generation.
Oh yeah,
There,
right.
there's a lot of different tools, but I'm kind of stick to the tried and true with Claude, and then
Yeah.
if need be, like you said, I do try. If I don't like the output from Claude, with Team GPT, I can easily just kind of switch to ChatGPT and just have it regenerate the response without having to re-enter
Yeah.
my prompt.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's kind of there. And then also what I've noticed, even within these different platforms, like ChatGPT has like 3 or 4 or 5, maybe 10 different versions,
Mm.
and they all serve a different purpose. And that's another thing that a lot of people, I think, misunderstand, and we're still trying to learn this. I think it's just that knowledge of knowing which model to use, and even if you like Claude, because of the the content creation capabilities that they've done a pretty darn good job on. But even there are different options that you can choose, right, to
Mhm.
even fine tune that even more. So
Yeah.
that's something that we will continue to work with, and as this whole industry develops, they are introducing new models every day.
Mm.
And again, the nice thing about it is, as soon as these new models get launched, we have access to them right away, and we only pay one subscription. Anyway, enough of the promotion for the tool. But it gives you an idea that there's just more to life than just ChatGPT. Okay, so like
Mhm.
although it's a very good tool, some of the other big players, and let's face it, Google with Gemini is a force to be reckoned with. I think because they're doing some amazing things. You brought up image generation.
Mm.
What's your experience with image generation? You don't use that a lot, but like where are we at in the AI world with image generation capabilities?
Yeah, so there's a lot that just even the past couple weeks has been advancing with image generation. Um, I personally don't use it a lot myself, but I know a lot of our team here has used it. Like even just for a client, they wanted some movement in their header image, so the team threw it into an AI and was able to make a panoramic drive down the road in front of a static image that a building that was just a static image, and then like the trees were leaving, weaving, and then I was just kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly, right. That was amazing. Yeah, like I remember that too. Yeah, so that's something that we could not do 3 months ago. We actually could not do that
Mhm.
in such a easy way. And we had to have somebody like a designer build it all from scratch and probably spend a significant amount of time on it. So now we actually are using the tool in that toolbox
Mhm.
to still under our direction to get the results that we're looking for. So yeah, that's really cool. So what can we do to integrate AI into their business? Like this is just something we're starting to be asked, right? Like let's
Mhm.
face it, people come to us and ask us for advice and guidance on these things. Like what are some of the things that you think we're in a good position to help our clients with?
Yeah, I think kind of like the first thing that we can definitely help with is, again, properly prompting AI, providing guidance on how to properly prompt AI and
Yeah,
how to provide context and provide that guidance. But also, something that we are kind of looking at is kind of shouting out Team GPT again, but like having everything kind of set up for our client,
yeah,
providing that context, providing those prompts, providing that project information, setting that all up for them, and then just having them kind of just go and creating the best content and
yeah,
business outputs
yeah.
possible.
No, exactly right. Because there is like some of our clients will be interested in actually doing some of that ideation work, and they have the knowledge of the product or the company, right? So we really encourage, I think we're going to encourage our clients to lean into that
Mhm.
if they're interested in creating some of their own content, but then like you said, like doing it the right way with some guidance and some guardrails that we
Mhm.
put in place. And I think the results for these clients are going to be a lot better than just randomly going to ChatGPT and punching some stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, AI consulting is another thing that like I said, like marketing is our thing, but AI touches a lot of other business areas as well. So we always look at things like how can we add value, and those are things that we're experimenting with as well, and leaning into and see, hey, like if we can be of service to our clients in a broader scope of things, then we can definitely are available as well. Because if we don't do it, who's going to do it?
Right.
Honestly, right? Like there's AI consultancies and all that I know, but they already know, like, and trust us.
Yep.
Or at least they know us.
Right.
Yeah. So I thank you so much, Caitlin, for the great work you're doing. And yeah, being skeptical, I think, is a good thing. That means you were carefully considering what this technology can do instead of just trusting it too much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it has shown that we were able to improve our, the quality and also the efficiencies that we run in our business, which are important.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, we see good things. We see a lot of opportunity here. So thanks for all the work you do, and thanks for discussing this topic with us. And yeah, if you want to make sure to subscribe to this channel, because we bring out more of this content all the time. You can find us at edgemarketing.ca, of course, and on the social channels. And yeah, we'll hope to see you next time.